Hey everybody, I'm Quinn.
And I'm Scott, and it's time for the Almost Friday show for October 20th, 2011.
Kicking it off and off the press, we're taking a look at some new trailers this week. We got The Raven that has John Cusack in it. He's playing Edgar Allan Poe.
John Cusack the poet.
Yeah. You know,
I don't know.
John Cusack, I love the guy, but I love him because he's a terrible actor, and I feel like there's going to be, poet societies everywhere that threaten to burn down the theaters that play this movie.
Dozens will gather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll all clap like this.
Why would they clap if they don't want?
Well, clap like this.
They're not slam poets.
Well, they could be.
I doubt it.
They're remixing. You know what? We're moving on.
Moving on to mobile insight, more or less, for this week.
It's true.
We got ice cream sandwiches. We got Nexus Galaxies, and the Razor's back, apparently.
And if none of that made any sense to you, it's all cell phone technology.
And then we're talking about BBX WTF.
Yeah, because that's...
OMG BBQ.
Yeah, that's cool. BBX.
QNX.
Yeah. And behind the lens this week, we're taking a look at Lytro's new camera because they finally announced it, and it's kind of weird shaped.
A little bit.
And we're also going to look at a really, really, really hideous special edition of a Sigma camera.
Really, it's Strange Camera Week.
Without further ado, it's time for Off the Press. Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Press. We've got some trailers this week.
Some interesting trailers.
Yeah, so we're starting off with some poetry turned into murder mystery.
Yep.
And that is The Raven, featuring John Cusack as Edgar Allan Poe.
So basically, without doing any further research than watching this trailer, what I gathered from this movie is that it's sort of a Sherlock Holmes style historical action adventure crime thriller
Yes.
based on the poems of Edgar Allan Poe. It's not actually a biopic.
Yeah, so, I mean, Edgar Allan Poe is in it, and he's solving crimes.
Yes,
based on the books that he wrote.
which is interesting because he was.
And I think that's about where reality stops.
Yes, there is a character. His name is Edgar Allan Poe.
And he's played by John Cusack.
He's a crime fighter, apparently.
Which means that it's going to be sort of a little bit all over the place.
Yes.
And at some point in time in the movie, Joan Cusack will appear.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's contractually obligated that they both appear in movies together.
But kind of absurdness of characters aside, this trailer does look like a kind of fun Victorian crime thriller.
I don't know that I can handle his beard haircut combo. It's almost as bad as Tom Hanks in The Da Vinci Code.
Oh,
It's just, plus he doesn't seem to talk with any kind of accent. He's just like, I'm an American, and you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, Edgar Allan Poe was an American.
Oh, well, whatever.
I think he was supposed to have
Shows how much literature I read.
A little bit of a southern accent, but otherwise, whatever.
For some reason, I thought Edgar Allan Poe was French. I don't know why.
Name's Edward.
Edgar.
Even worse.
You've only said the name like 4 times in this segment. Anyway,
As a-
John Cusack,
As a fan of Edgar Allan Poe, I'll probably go see this because
I'll see it because I
looks
love John
interesting,
Cusack. Because
I like historical.
terribly awesome.
I like historical thrillers that have no basis in history whatsoever. All right.
So moving on to more trailer news, we actually have a real official trailer for the Avengers now, not just what was running at the end of Thor.
So this actually came out last week, but since we didn't have a show from last week, and this is a really sweet trailer, I thought we'd talk about it this week.
We also, in this trailer, totally learned that Mark Ruffalo is going to be the new Hulk.
Which we talked about briefly on the show when it was announced.
Yeah, so now it's official, and he's wearing a purple shirt at some point in time, which is just driving home points there. Yeah. But I don't really know how I feel about Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. Like, I feel like he's too much of a friendly guy to suddenly become a giant monster.
Well, that's the point. The guy that turns into the Hulk.
I know, but I just feel like
someone. He's supposed to be,
Mark Ruffalo would turn into the Hulk and be like, "Would you like some cookies?"
No, the guy that turns into the Hulk, he's supposed to be like, like a nerdy scientist kind of guy.
Yeah, but Mark Ruffalo's not a nerdy scientist.
Well, no, he's supposed to be like, totally nice guy, nerdy scientist, mild-mannered, and then he turns into like crazy Hulk guy.
Anyway, we get totally a bunch more screen time with Jeremy Renner, who's playing Hawkeye, which is awesome because I like Jeremy Renner. Yeah. And I think Hawkeye's going to be an interesting character because he's all like, I got no superpowers, but I'm going to shoot a bow and arrow at you. And you're like,
My superpower is I have really good aim.
Yeah. But it's Jeremy Renner, which is awesome. So it looks pretty entertaining. We were talking about it's sort of Michael Bay-ish in its explosions.
It looks kind of preposterously over the top.
Yeah, just city blocks explode for no apparent reason.
If you read the comics, city blocks do explode for no particular reason.
I suppose.
Living in Marvel New York.
Someone went to
is
Michael Bay
dangerous.
and said, "Can I borrow that box that says Epic on the front of it?" And the knob goes up to 11 because we need it for this movie. And then they turned it up to like 9.5.
I am interested in
And then
all
Michael
the
Bay
redesigned
ran
costumes.
over and said, "Why aren't you using it at 11?"
The redesigned costumes in this Avengers.
It is, yeah,
trailer,
it's
those
pretty
look pretty
cool.
sweet.
I think it's going to be interesting to see, like, Iron Man's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But
Well, it looks a little bit different, but
Thor and Captain America have some new costumes, which is cool. And then, Jeremy Renner's character, we hadn't even really seen a
Yes.
costume yet for.
we finally
so.
see him.
And his bow does the whole, flip out thing, which is kind of cool.
And it looks like Loki is kind of going a little bit batshit crazy, which is awesome.
It's true. What is this,
Yep.
2013 for this?
No, next year actually.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be next year's summer blockbuster.
I thought it was going to be 2013,
Well, then you thought crazy.
apparently.
Yep.
Anyway, moving on to, if you've got a big pocketbook and you feel
We're
like
giving
owning
you
some...
a blast from the past.
Yeah, and you feel like
Huh.
owning some movie memorabilia. One of the 7 DeLoreans that were made for Back to the Future 3,
One of the 3 remaining, actually.
yes, but one of the 7
Yes.
total, is up for sale for, a small sum of
Yeah.
$600,000.
Yep.
So if you would like to own the DeLorean that was used in the scene where he tries to drive through
The movie theater.
the movie theater
So you're
to go
owning a
back in time.
DeLorean with sweet white walls.
Yeah, which equates to at least $1,000 worth of that $600,000.
It's true.
So
So, it's either buying a really nice house in the suburbs or a non-functioning movie prop car.
well, it doesn't go back in time, but
No.
I do believe it works as a car.
Oh, really? Okay.
If it's the one that they used in the scene where he
Yes.
that car drove,
But you don't know how long it's been sitting there, and
I guess.
you will have to do some work on it. But if you don't have $600,000 to spend, they also are auctioning off a bunch of other things from the movies.
Yeah.
Stuff that will probably cost less than that.
The cool thing is it's all going to the Michael J. Fox Foundation
Yeah.
for Parkinson's. So if you do check out the auction and decide to pick anything up, all of it's going to a good cause,
So
which
you
is
get cool
which is
stuff.
doubly awesome. Yeah.
So you're getting cool stuff and you're helping with charity. I say go for it.
So moving on to this week's new releases. In movies, we have The Three Musketeers.
Speaking of historical action thrillers that have no basis in history,
Yes.
and Paranormal Activity 3, which is supposed to be a prequel of the other 2.
Yeah, because apparently we couldn't get enough of blue-tinted cameras in corners of rooms at night.
Shaky cam.
Yeah.
And shoot myself
Well,
in
it's
the
not
face.
even really shaky cam. They're just it's like Big Brother, but at night and with ghosts.
And in the theater,
Well, yeah.
which is the worst part.
On DVD and Blu-ray this week, we have the 4th Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. I didn't even see this one in theaters.
They also came out with a really sweet collector's box of all 4 Pirates of the Caribbean movies. It's a little treasure chest.
Which really means that only 2 of those are worth watching because the second movie is a trailer for the 3rd movie.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we have Red State, which is Kevin Smith's return to directing and creating his own movie. Interestingly enough, it's a horror movie, which Kevin Smith has never done before. And there's also been talks, I believe, that Kevin Smith said this is his last movie he's going to do. So I don't know how solid that's going to be, because
He'll be
filmmakers
back.
say that all the time. But they did some pretty cool releasing for this. You were able to get it on iTunes. It was a limited release in theaters.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a multi-distribution because he wasn't looking to any studios to back him,
Yeah.
which was really cool. So it was independently produced and independently distributed, which was pretty cool. We've also got the new Green Lantern
Yep,
movie.
that actually came out last Friday.
Yes.
So
If you need to...
if
whatever.
for some reason you liked it, you can pick it up now.
I was going to say flame on, but that's not what he says. He got a thing where he throws his hand. You know what? It doesn't matter. It's the Green Lantern.
He just has to will it.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
will it into something.
And in video games, we have Batman Arkham City for PS3 and 360.
If you like the original Batman, this is a lot of the same, but in a much bigger sandbox to play
And
in.
much prettier.
Which looks pretty awesome. So I think if you're a Batman fan and you didn't line up on launch day, I don't know why you didn't line up on launch day.
To be fair, it was really cold up here on launch day.
Well, I
Kind of
suppose.
raining too.
We've also got Rocksmith, which is sort of a new take on the playing your guitar
Yep.
towards a television
We
game.
covered this when it was announced at E3 either last year or this year, which is basically this is the game that will teach you how to play guitar.
So you actually plug in a real guitar.
Yeah, it
and
comes with the game and a cable to plug your guitar into your console. And what it does is it teaches you chord structure and all that stuff. There's like practice modes and mini game modes that'll teach you how to switch chords, do different strumming thingies, and teach you how to play real rock songs.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So also we've got Everybody Dance, which is a game where everybody dances.
It probably sucks. It's for the PS3.
Or if you like dancing, it might be pretty good.
If you like dancing, why don't you have a Kinect?
Because, they like their
Exactly.
Blu-rays.
All right.
Also, we've got Ratchet and Clank All for One, which apparently is the fourth Ratchet and Clank game, which I don't really believe because I feel like there's been 700,000 of them.
No, there's been 3. And then 1 3-pack. And then this.
I refuse to believe it.
Well, you're wrong.
Eh.
And the game that came out this past Sunday, which is really cool and I actually bought, is Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, which is kind of neat, but kind of a money grab, but kind of neat.
If you're 12, you'll totally like this game.
And if you're 20-something and have disposable income, this is a trap. Because what you do is you buy the big starter pack, it comes with the game, a little platform, and then 3 little action figures. And the action figures are the characters that you play in the game. So to change characters in the game, you just grab your little action figures and place them on the platform.
Which is pretty cool.
And then you see them on screen and they're all doing things. It's really cool.
And there's something like, 24 characters to collect?
32 characters,
32
but only
characters.
18 of them are released now, the rest coming in February.
And then there's expansion packs that allow you to put other items on there, which unlock items and additional maps and stuff like that.
Mini levels and stuff. And
Yeah,
a pirate level.
so it's pretty cool, although in playing it, I gotta say...
It's a little bit janky.
I was really disappointed in the graphics, considering the year that we are in right now.
It's true.
It was totally PS2 quality graphics.
Even for a kid's game, it's a little bit janky. There's some parts where you get stuck in the geometry, and come on now, it's 2011.
It's totally a money grab, but if you like those sort of platformer games where you just shoot everything and collect points...
You can get by with the 3 characters they give you in the box, but there are things that you can only unlock with certain characters, and throughout the game you pick up items which are like special moves and special items for specific characters.
So if you were a Spyro fan, it's probably worth checking out.
Yep.
If you're a 12-year-old kid, you'll go crazy over this.
If you like hack-and-slash platform adventures, you'll probably like this too.
Or if you have an obsession with miniature figurines.
I am in 2 of those categories.
And that brings us to the end of Off the Press this week.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech Insight. This week we're going to be starting off with some exciting Samsung Nexus, Galaxy Prime, Galaxy Nexus news.
Yeah,
Nexus.
So they finally announced the next officially sanctioned Google phone.
Yes.
And it's not a Motorola phone, even though they went out and bought them.
They haven't bought them yet.
True,
That's
and
the
I
thing.
guess this has probably been in the pipes. So it is termed the Galaxy Nexus, not the Nexus Prime.
No, which makes sense considering the Samsung Galaxy is a thing and Nexus is also a thing.
Yeah, so, cool.
What else?
Galaxy Nexus. It looks like an amazing phone if we talk just hardware. Like, it kicks the 4S's butt.
Hardware, it looks... Okay, I thought it was a really fugly phone when I first saw it, but now actually seeing it in the videos...
Yeah.
It's all right. It's
looks
actually
good.
a pretty sweet phone.
4.65-inch, 720p AMOLED screen.
Samsung has gorgeous screens.
That's a ridiculously high resolution for a screen that big, so that's awesome. 1.2 gigahertz dual core processor, gig of RAM, pretty good camera. It's not too thick; it's about 9 millimeters thick at the thickest. It's got LTE. It's got HSP. Basically, if you can think of a way to connect to a cell service. It's capable with it, just like the Nexus S was, right?
Yeah.
It's on the AWS. It's what a pentaband, I think they call it.
So every carrier known to man is capable of using this phone.
Yeah, which
It's
is a
pretty
good way to
sweet.
go about it, because then you're like, why don't you have a Galaxy Nexus?
Yeah, come on.
It's a pretty sexy looking phone, and it's shipping with ice cream sandwich.
Yep, with ice cream sandwich. I believe they're taking pre-orders now, coming out I think late October in the States, and then starting to roll out globally in November.
And usually the Google phones aren't that delayed.
No.
At least the Nexus S was pretty close for global.
And it's a GSM phone, so if you really can't wait, just hop onto eBay the day after it's been released.
Yeah, that's the good thing about especially the Google phones is they don't carrier lock them. You
They
can just
sell
go
them
buy
unlocked
one.
directly
Yeah.
from Google, or if you buy them from a carrier, they're
Then
locked.
it's yes.
But
So you do have the option, which is good. And to go along with the announcement of this new phone, they also announced Android 4.0,
which is named Ice Cream Sandwich.
which I think is ridiculous and delicious.
They also, last weekend, unveiled their ice cream sandwich statue outside their Google offices.
Yes, which they happen to do since they have, a campus to fill.
Yes, apparently.
So ice cream sandwich, this confused me a little bit because we knew 2.3 is gingerbread.
Yep.
And that's basically the newest version of the phone OS.
Yep.
3.0 is honeycomb.
Which is the tablet OS.
Yeah. Now 4.0 ice cream sandwich is actually both.
Yes.
It's shipping for tablets and phones, even though they said they wanted to do them separately, but now they're combining them immediately I don't care as long as we know what Google's doing.
As long as it works and it looks fine, I don't care what's going on. But
it's just they seem to go, no, honeycomb, and then we're going to have separately.
They broke their promises, and, that hurts.
But it does look not a huge rev.
It's not a huge update if you're familiar with honeycomb. If you're not familiar with honeycomb, then you're going to look at this and be a little bit confused.
Gingerbread to ice cream sandwich is going to be an update for sure. Lots of little things. So they're having soft buttons now to make up for the tablet.
Basically, what they've done is they've gotten rid of the search button, so they just have the back, menu, and home.
Yeah.
Which, it's fine. There's a million different software ways to search on the phone.
And I'm getting that's because tablets, a lot of them like the Zoom and that didn't have hardware buttons, so they needed the software one. So if you're going with one release, I'm assuming if you have hardware buttons, you can either turn them off or they'll just never show up.
Yeah, which I hope so.
Yeah, upgrades to browser, tab browsing with your default now.
It's shipping in tab.
Which is pretty sweet. Something called, what do they call it? That crazy thing.
Beam.
Android Beam. So this is it's like a little bit of what WebOS had with their sharing, and a little bit of like bump on the iPhone.
Bump and squirting on the Zune, if you remember that.
So basically you can share anything, more or less.
More or less. If you're sharing a game with someone, you're not going to be sharing like game data. The example they used in the demo was, oh, have you checked out this game Minecraft? No, I haven't. Oh, here you go. Beam, and then you're automatically taken to a link to the Android Marketplace to download it.
So, and then if you're doing like a picture or something, it'll actually transfer the picture.
Yeah, picture, web pages, contacts, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, which is, I know that's a really cool way to transfer contacts. Yeah. Especially if if everyone has it.
Yeah, it's quicker. But the thing is, it's NFC, so you're basically...
You're limited on phones right now.
Like three or four phones right now.
The Nexus S has NFC.
Yep.
The Galaxy Nexus will have it.
Yep, and then like 2 or 3 Verizon phones.
Now, hopefully, we'll see NFC more with Google Wallet starting to develop, plus this new thing now built into Android. So we can hope. There's a lot of big camera improvements, I hear.
Huge camera improvements. So one of my main gripes about Android is that the built-in camera app basically sucks, because all you do is snap a picture. There's no adjustment of anything. So now they've really revamped it. There's touch to focus, which has been on the iPhone forever. I think there's some white balance and stuff you can do on it as well.
Face detection.
There's a really cool panorama mode they previewed in the demo, as well as they're touting this to be like a zero lag, or like a camera that takes up instantly. And there's fun little filters built into it as well, which I'm sure some people like.
Yeah, and I think the last thing I want to talk about is they have this new I can't remember what they were coining it, but basically it's this crazy integration with all your social services, which no one has ever wanted.
No. I turned mine off in Moto Blur.
Yeah.
Most people I know with an HTC phone turns most of it off.
Because then you end up with a list of contacts that has your Facebook data and your Twitter data pulled in.
The problem is, if I was really organized, it wouldn't be a problem, because everyone would be like, Scott Champagne, I click you, I have your home phone number, your cell phone, your couple of email addresses, your Flickr or
Twitter,
Facebook
whatever,
and Twitter, whatever. But the thing is, I don't have that for everybody, and that would just drive me crazy.
On Facebook, I have 280 friends.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't want all of them on my phone.
Yeah, I have, under 40 people on my phone, but on Facebook, I have 150 people, which I don't really want to talk to 80 of them.
Yeah, so I WebOS tried it. Everyone hated it because then your address book is just getting piled with crap. I don't know why you can connect to MySpace. Build MySpace connection in it. Do you really want anyone on MySpace on your phone?
The only people I follow on MySpace are bands.
Yeah.
That's it.
So other than that, it's minor GUI tweaks.
Yeah, general UI tweaks have basically made it prettier. I definitely saw some Windows Phone 7-esque things in it, especially with the contacts and the way the email looks.
It's a little bit more... It's not as toy-y as Android used to look. It's kind of a little more sleek.
One of the things they said in the demo, which really struck a lot of people, was they said that people like Android, but they don't love Android.
That's a good point.
So this is what they're doing now. They're basically all right, we have an operating system that works. People like it. Now let's make it look good. Let's make it something that people actually want to grab onto.
What it looks like now, this is what BlackBerry should look like.
It's true.
Because it's professional-esque, but still completely usable and really attractive.
And really, on Android, if you hate the way it looks, there's 4 really good launchers you can download.
The last thing I want to talk about is a really stupid feature, which failed in their demo. Face recognition to unlock.
Face detect, which will fail because when you set it up, let's say you set it up at your office. Your office generally is really well lit. So you go set it up in your office. You want to turn it on.
On the bus.
On the bus. Or let's say you're showing your date something at the restaurant.
Not going to work.
Not going to work.
The thing is, you take, if you got a front-facing camera, you take
Which
a picture of yourself. They're usually like VGA, which is terrible.
Yeah.
And then you can, to unlock your phone,
I think it's like 3 megapixel in the front, but
yeah, on
still.
that phone. You
Yeah,
press the
specific
button,
phone.
and then you got to like line it up, and then it recognizes your face. It's going to take forever, on top of the fact that it's never going to work.
Yeah.
I guess it's cool.
I suppose. I don't know.
But, if that's not your thing and you're not a Samsung kind of person,
No.
Motorola has also released a new phone. It's called the Droid Razr, and I thought we had got away from the Razr thing.
But apparently they're bringing it back because actually it's about time. The
I
Razr was a
suppose.
really cool brand. The
Very
Droid
popular
brand,
phone.
Droid brand is really popular.
And
so,
they pay enough to use the name.
Yep.
This looks like I would buy this probably over the Samsung, just because it looks cool.
One of these two phones is going to be my next phone.
So 4.3-inch Super AMOLED.
Yep, smaller than the Samsung.
Yeah, so not quite as dinner platey.
No.
Same 1.2 gigahertz processor, dual core. That's same gig of RAM.
Yep.
Only 7 millimeters thick.
At the thin part, but it's got a bit of a bulge.
Yeah, see, the difference is when they say it's not like rounded like
No.
the back of the. This much of it is 7 millimeters,
Yeah.
and then there's like a little bulge at the bottom.
Which is for your
Which-
camera and all that stuff.
And makes it easier to hold, to be honest.
It's actually the bulge is at the top.
Then I hate it, and I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
I need my bulge at the bottom.
It's probably something you have to try, because if they don't balance it properly, then you'll be dropping it all the time.
So it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Not a lot different than the Galaxy Nexus other than shape,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the Motorola, so if you brand loyalty. And it's going to support at least Verizon's LTE for now.
It is being released internationally, so people who see the Droid name usually panic because Droid means Verizon. But internationally, they're dropping the Droid name.
Yeah,
It's
we're getting it
become-
as the Razr
Yeah.
up here.
Which is good. I'm really glad they're releasing this internationally.
Yeah.
One thing they do have is they're not calling it Moto Blur anymore. It's another social UI thingy, whatever. But it's got a bunch of cool features, which one of them that they really touted in this Android and Me article is like a smart battery saver feature, which basically uses your location to determine if it's on power saver mode or super mode or whatever.
That's interesting.
mode.
If I'm at work, I can be on power saver
Yeah,
because I'm
'cause
working.
You're probably not working.
Yeah.
Yeah, you set it from like 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock power feature or power saver, lunch hour.
To be honest, that's something I'm surprised that isn't on more phones. It just makes sense.
My Atrix has a battery saver mode, then there's like a nighttime mode, you can set it on a timer and stuff, but it's probably not as crazy as this.
So Razr for most of us.
Kevlar back.
Which is it looks good. It's a sexy looking phone.
I forgot to mention Kevlar back.
Shipping with gingerbread.
Yep.
Hope ice cream sandwich to come next year, just like
To come
everybody
in
else.
early
more or less.
2012. It's coming to the States again late October, early November for everyone else.
Pre-orders start next week if you're
Yep.
interested. $300 on a 2-year contract, which is
In the States.
too much.
A little bit,
When
yeah.
the iPhone 4S is $199, you got to at least match that.
Yeah.
I think, but it is a cool looking.
It
phone.
also is being released with a bundle of accessories as well as being backwards compatible with a bunch of other
Yeah,
accessories.
you can buy those stupid laptop accessories if you want. Just don't. It is really Mobile Insight this week.
It is.
We're talking about BlackBerry. They had their DevCon
Yep.
after their giant outage, which I don't want to get into.
Nope.
And basically, DevCon's the time where BlackBerry, announces their new stuff to developers to attract developers,
DevCon.
which they need to do because let's be honest, their app store is lacking. Not
Yeah.
gone, but lacking. So they announced BBX, which is really QNX, which is really what's running on the playbook.
Yeah, which
So-
is actually a pretty nice operating system.
Have
It
you-
works.
Yeah, QNX is actually really versatile. It's in everything.
Yeah, secretly.
Yeah, like in cars and stuff. So QNX has been running by itself. It's not, BlackBerry doesn't own them.
Yeah.
But they're now implementing it on BlackBerry starting next year, so they're going to call it BBX. Basically, they're touting really good HTML5 support, which is, basically their backwards compatibility. Native support for Adobe Air and Adobe Flash,
Sweet.
and better graphics acceleration built in. So basically, they're going, look, developers, we're doing something, and it's going to be easier to develop on BlackBerry. Please develop for BlackBerry.
Yes.
The presentation was horribly dry. They didn't tell you much more than what I just told you, and that's why there's been almost no news coverage. But they are trying, and I'm not going to talk about BlackBerry again until they release a BBX device.
Yeah, which
Hope next year.
Not soon enough, BlackBerry. Next year is technically 3 months from now, but still, not soon enough, BlackBerry.
Yeah, I don't know. But hopefully BBX will give them a boost. I don't think it'll be a saving grace, but hopefully a boost. Last one, a tablet sneaked out without anyone talking about it at all.
Nope.
Kobo is a company up in Canada who makes in the States you would have heard about it, but the company that was affiliated with it went under.
Yeah.
So
It's apparently Kobo is doing well internationally.
they're
but
doing
not in the
very well
States.
up here.
Yeah, very well
Yeah.
up here because it's basically the only game in town.
Yeah, well, Kobo is affiliated with Indigo, which is
Yeah.
the biggest bookstore in the country, more or less the only bookstore in the country.
Yeah.
So that's our e-reader. So a lot of Canadians buy Kobos. They released a tablet.
A very good entry-level tablet.
So it's the Kobo Vox.
Yeah.
$200. So the same as they're basically going right after the Kindle Fire.
Yeah.
Because they go right after Kindle all the time in a weird but productive way. So it looks cool.
Yeah, because it's coming in 4 colors, so you get your standard black and gray, and it has like
Pink
and blue and teal or
yeah.
something. But I like the color options. It's nice.
Yeah, well, it's a nice change. I think the
It
Fire
is.
only comes in one color.
White.
Yeah, but so the only thing, 8 gig internal memory,
Yeah.
7-inch screen, 1024 by 600, so same.
And the micro SD slot as
yeah,
well, so the 8 gig.
basically it's the Kindle Fire for the same price,
Yep.
except it's slower.
By just a little bit slower.
It's only 800 megahertz processor as opposed to the 1 gigahertz
Yeah,
dual
which
core.
is basically the only thing that's different about
Yeah.
these two. This is also running Gingerbread, so Android 2.3. I don't think it's skinned as crazy as the
Not
Kindle
really.
Fire.
No, the Kindle's pretty Amazon taken over.
Yeah. So this is, you've got your Android marketplace. You don't have your crappy Amazon thing.
Yeah,
so-
which is nice because that's a much bigger
So you
marketplace.
can go download Comixology, guys.
Yeah. Now, I think the thing is, I'm not going to buy this as a tablet.
No.
I'd probably spend the $300 and go get an Acer Android tablet or
Yeah.
something. But if I wanted to buy a Kobo e-reader, and I was thinking maybe I want to do some color.
Now, if you saw this beside the e-reader at Chapters, and this one is $100 more,
It's an
you'd
easy
be like,
sell.
It's very easy to sell.
And it's coming out. You can pre-order them next week
Yep.
on the 28th. So this is right before Christmas. Now, last year it was almost impossible to get a Kobo.
Yeah, so
up
this might
here.
be the hot news
So
on this
I think
Christmas.
in Chapters is going to move a pile of these.
And also, if your kid wants a tablet, you're not going to go spend $500 on an
No,
iPad.
yeah.
$200, pretty
Easier
reasonable for
to
a
swallow.
Christmas present.
And you get 5 free color ebooks with it.
Yeah,
when you buy it.
when you pre-order.
When you pre-order, sorry,
Yeah.
you're right, from the Kindle ebook store. If you want to pick
Pretty
one up,
sweet.
Best Buy, Future Shop, and Indigo, so like Chapters Kohl's will be selling them up here. Down south, Best Buy and Fry's will be
Yeah.
selling them
So the
the
big
next couple
box
weeks.
retailers will have them.
Yeah, probably have lots, but they might go. Kobo's sold
Yeah,
really well.
especially
up
at this price, and if there's even like a tiny bit of marketing behind this, then it's going to be gone.
here. Yeah, I think they'll sell really
Get
well.
your hands on
so,
quick.
There you go, Canadian competitor to the Fire.
Yep.
And that's it from Tech Insight this week. It's that time for Behind the Lens for this week. We're talking about, remember a little while ago we talked about this camera that doesn't exist yet, but Photoshop I think was touting this feature where you could like pick your focus after taking the picture.
Well, that's Adobe did come out like last week
The
and
plugin or
show
whatever.
this blur thing.
Yes.
But the thing is, what everyone thought it was is that you could make photos that were out of focus in focus, but that's not,
Which it wasn't.
Which it wasn't.
Yes.
It was making things that were motion blurred, not blurring. But then we also found out that they actually synthesized the blur in that photo, and it wasn't a real blur photo to begin with when they did the demo, which just makes it really stupid. But this is what we're talking about here is actual technology
Yes.
that actually allows you to pick your focus afterwards, and that's Lytro, which we have talked about before. But Ren Eng, who is the founder of this company, finally brought out the product that I believe they're going to be shipping early next year, which is the Lytro Light Field camera.
Now, it doesn't look a heck of a lot like a camera.
No, it looks like a CCTV box.
Yeah.
It's this little rectangular device with a lens on the front of it, a little 1.5-inch screen on the back. It's got a button on the top to take photos, and I believe somewhere there's a zoom button because I think it has an 8x optical zoom, if I remember correctly. So it's a constant f2 lens throughout, which is pretty cool across an 8x zoom
Yeah,
range.
yeah, that's not
Most
bad.
point-and-shoots quickly lose light when
Yeah.
you zoom in. So the fact that this stays f2 is very impressive. But what's weird about it is that it has internal memory. You can't put a bigger memory card in, so you can get an 8 or a 16 gigabyte version.
Yeah.
And it doesn't use megapixels. At least that's not how they classify
Yes.
it. They say it has an 11 megaray sensor, whatever the hell
means.
that
Yeah,
means.
we don't know. Yeah.
But the whole premise behind this is that you take a picture, and when you get home, you can choose whether the flower was in focus, or the trees behind it, or the mountains behind that. So you can completely adjust your focus as it takes every possible focal depth in that single photo.
Somehow.
Yeah, with the way their technology is working, which is pretty cool stuff. Because it's a weird camera, though, I'm not sure, who the market is.
No. Well, because it's going to have to be someone who wants to go back and edit their photos.
Absolutely. This is a camera that you're going to spend time with your photos. It's not going to go straight to Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to go back and pick that focus, right? So you got to be someone who wants to do that, be at least that level. But a lot of the time, those people have a decent understanding of how to shoot photos and how they want their photos to be shot. So do they really want to go use this one-button camera with a tiny little screen on the back that's not shaped at all like a camera?
Yeah, so we don't really know to what extent you're going to be able to adjust stuff. Is it all auto? Is there going to be some program modes, manual modes? Can you change white balance, stuff like that? At this point, all we really know is that it takes photos. It's got about, I think, an 8x optical zoom, and it's 11 megaray sensor, which, whatever that equates to.
I think I shouldn't have any less than 12 megarays.
However, the price point is definitely something that someone who's interested in camera technology could get into.
Yeah.
The 8GB version is going for $399, which is mid-range for a point-and-shoot.
Yeah.
So it's not like you have to pony up like $1,200 to get new technology in your hands. It's actually relatively cost-effective. So even if it was just someone, if you're just an enthusiast with cameras, it's probably something you might pick up to play with because there are times it's going to work.
Definitely a toy. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
I could see applications for press and media where you just photo. Okay, now what was important about that photo when you get back?
But
because there's no delay now because there's no focusing that has to happen.
Yeah.
So when you hit that button, that photo's taken right there.
But the thing is, a lot of people spend time becoming good press photographers.
Well, absolutely.
And that's a skill.
Absolutely.
Right? So,
but I could see this being a solution to, that sort of one-man band journalist that's doing some audio recording, wants to snap some pictures, but they don't know a lot about composition.
Doesn't have the know-how or the time.
They can go in and possibly make that picture look more appealing than it would have been before. So it's pretty cool. I'm glad to see that it does exist, that it's an effective price point, and it'll be available early 2012. So moving on, Canon came out with a big announcement this week. Everyone's got their fingers crossed for a 5D Mark III. Well, that's not what they gave us.
Not quite.
They did, however, update their 1D line. Now, typically they've had two branches of their 1D line, which was a full-frame version at a slower frames per second for sort of studio photographers, and then a crop sensor version at a faster frames per second for sports photographers. Well, they've put both of those groups together now with the new 1DX, as it's an 18-megapixel full-frame sensor that shoots at up to 14 frames per second, which is quite fast for a full-frame sensor. Because keep in mind, with a full-frame sensor, you're storing more data every time you take a picture. The camera has to work harder. So it's hard to achieve that 14 frames per second. Now, Deep Your View is saying 12 frames per second with autofocus, but that's still fast. It's faster than what the 1D Mark IV was doing. I believe it was 11 frames per second. So it's pretty cool. It's got twin Digic 5 processors. So the new Digic 5, which is supposed to be boasting really good low light capability, up to 200,000 ISO. It's going to be grainy, but this is the kind of camera that routers, journalists, and stuff like that, when they go overseas, they're shooting with this. So if there's a time where 2,000 ISO is going to get you the photo that you wouldn't have been able to get beforehand, you're going to use it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if it means the cover of a newspaper, it means the cover of a newspaper.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to see that they've been working on that. It's touting a whole bunch of new video features. It's doing, obviously, full HD video. There's been some talk about proper autofocus during video, and the new sensor technology is supposed to help greatly reduce moire and aliasing, but we're not sure how much of that. What is cool, though, is it's got some time code built into it, which is something a lot of people have been asking for.
That's getting serious about video.
Yeah, for sure. It's not doing 1080-60p, which a lot of people were expecting it would.
Just 24?
So it's doing 24 and 30 and 720-60p. It's got the same frame rates as the 5D Mark II doesn't do 720-60p.
Yeah.
So they've added that on a full frame chip because the other non-full frame ones will do it, but this is the first time a full frame has done 720-60p. So, I mean, they've made it a little bit better. It's looking really promising for video, but it's still kind of missing some stuff. But the thing is that this, I feel, is really not targeted towards video shooters.
Yeah.
They've added more video functionality in there because they're looking to get that journalist that also shoots video, but they're not looking to sell this to the filmmaker. And I think they're really going to hang on to possibly what the 5D Mark III is doing, or like we've talked about, the announcement of a large chip camcorder that's going to have all those video-related features. It is $7,000. I believe it's $6,800 for this body, which is a lot of money. But if you're a pro, you're probably considering it.
It is that next level camera, though.
Absolutely. Now, the weird thing about this is that they went and announced it, but it's not going to be available until March of 2012.
That's a
So
pretty big...
we still have a long ways to wait.
Now
some people have thought that this was maybe to try to convince people not to jump ships to other cameras at this point.
Stay on Canon.
Stay on Canon. Hey, look, we've got this great product that you could have in 6 months. So there hasn't been really any demos out in the wild. There's been a couple of videos of stuff, but really not any samples or footage yet because it's still kind of new. But it looks really interesting, and it's a powerful camera. Also, they've fully revamped the autofocus. It's a 61-point autofocus system now. Canon's always been kind of known to have less than awesome autofocus, so hopefully this will be a big improvement, and hopefully we're going to see some of the really awesome functionality of this trickle down to what the 5D Mark III will hopefully have. Which we might hear about on November 3rd at the big Hollywood event, and we'll probably hear about a large sensor video camera as well. So Canon is taking themselves seriously when it comes to video. I think with this camera, though, it's really a lot more emphasis on stills than video.
Yeah, they're adding it because,
they're adding it because it's serving a need for those journalists out there that are requested and asked to do video.
Yeah.
So they're going, here, this is broadcast quality video, but they're not throwing in all the time, proper HDMI out and everything that a film crew would need because they don't feel that this camera is for that person.
Yeah, they can add the feature set, but it's not a video camera.
Absolutely.
Yeah, makes sense. Now we're moving on to something else a little bit ridiculous. Oddly enough, from Sigma.
So Sigma had their SD1, which they brought out and was stupid expensive.
Yeah,
it was something like $7,000. Was what it finally trickled down to, but it's supposed to retail for like $10,000. It's not even full frame. It's just using their Foveon sensor, which is really awesome color rendering, but it's way too damn expensive.
Not 10,000 euros.
No, absolutely not. But Sigma said, hey, you know what? We can entice some really old men by creating this wood veneer version, which really, here's a picture. Oh man, I have to sneeze at that. That's how bad it is.
It's pretty it's awful.
Yeah, it's if you stepped into a Jaguar from 1975, this is what your dash would look like.
Absolutely.
I think my biggest problem with it is that when you look at the images of it here, it looks like it's a sleeve.
It does.
That they fit around.
That's exactly.
It's not even that they were like, let's replace the pieces with a wood veneer. It's like, let's just put this crappy
what they did
finished shell
on it. They just glued it on.
I know.
And shipped it.
So it's $1,000 more
for the wood.
Excellent.
So that's retailing for very close to $10,000.
Yeah. So,
for a camera you could never possibly be looked at professionally while shooting with.
Yeah. And even if I don't get it.
No, I don't.
So if you buy one of these, please let us know.
It's like the Leica red dot.
And then we will come to your house and burn you alive inside of it.
Yeah.
Because you bought this camera.
It's just sad.
And then hopefully we're going to steal your 1975 Jaguar. Because
I'm into that. I could go.
Because I really think if you own a 1975 Jaguar, you might be able to get away with this.
Because you have a Jag.
And also because you're like 80 and you have a really long gray mustache.
So if I buy a 1975 Jaguar, I immediately become 80.
Yeah, that's when you sign the paperwork, you age instantly.
Oh, that's too bad.
That's what happens when you buy.
I like older Jags.
Well, that just means you like tea and
I don't
cricket
like newer Sigmas though. So
no one likes Sigma cameras. They just like Sigma lenses. Anyway, so that's Sigma's atrocity to the photo world, and
you really need a camera.
They're gonna sell it, and that's what hurts me.
Is people will buy it.
People will buy it, and I don't understand why.
It's if you have a Jag that old, you need this.
I guess
that's where they're going. If you have $10,000 and you don't have this yet, but you've got wood paneling in your car,
it's made of Southeast Asian tree, and it takes about 60 hours to cut, mill, and polish. And only 10 examples will be made. So I guess there's only 10 people in the world that are going to have one.
Thank the Lord.
Which means that our murder count won't be super high.
The picture, just saying, that does not look like actual wood.
No,
it might look
totally
nicer in
looks
person.
Like plastic.
It looks exactly like plastic. Like the patterns don't look like wood.
Anyway, that sadly brings us to the end of Behind the Lens this week, because I just can't talk about cameras anymore. My eyes have been burned out by this Sigma camera.
And that just about wraps up the show this week. I want to apologize again for the gaudiness
Yes.
of that terrible Sigma camera.
Because it's definitely not godly.
No, not even a little bit.
No.
If you want to tell us that you've bought one and that we need to come damage your home and your camera, you can do so by emailing us at contact@almostfridayshow.com.
Or you can leave us a nice note on our Twitter account at almost_Friday. And once again, we do have a Facebook page. You can search the Almost Friday Show on Facebook. You can leave us a note on there with your address and closest entry to the your bedroom.
You know what? I don't want to be associated with Sigma, that camera, on Facebook at all.
I suppose.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Just stay away from the wood finish.
Yeah. So until next time, wood veneers.